Hello. Uh, this is like an second edition playlist that I hope to clarify my concepts of invisible, strategic invisible engagement warfare, visual invisibility warfare. And this video right here is an introduction. And these are the things I'm going to cover. First of all, if I can fit this into the YouTube title, it'll be called Strategic Invisible Engagement, Visual Invisibility Warfare. That's not um, stealth like heat or sound or anything like that. It's actual visual invisibility, sight. And you can consider all the other observables in with this too, but this mainly concentrates. This actually deals with complete invisibility, all points observables. And this is for future reference, but I believe we will, and it is a requirement to believe that there will be a day when invisibility, full invisibility, practical full invisibility to the human eye and to our sensors will be somewhat of a reality, if not a complete reality. So these are the things that I've considered in making this playlist to cover that would cover all aspects of strategic invisible engagement. Uh, Number one would be strategy, and the two things that I can think of is A, the enemy must blink first in order to carry out their deeds, and B, the volume determines the deed. Um, an individual in an invisible suit can do some sabotage, but they can't rob a bank. They can't rob anything that requires volume, kidnapping. That would be impossible with an invisible craft of some sort, a vehicle, boat, plane, train, automobile, whatever. Um, Volume determines deed, and I'll get into that further. But those are the two basic things that I believe are behind all strategy in invisible warfare. The enemy blinks first, which will require a constant vigil of whoever is patrolling. And it also requires society as a whole to be constantly vigilant when even the bad guys have invisibility. And I'll get to that next. That would be part two, open source, proliferation, privatization versus proliferation. But in that, I want to include proliferation even to bad guys, bad police states, bad governments, bad individuals. It's far more dangerous to have privatization of institutes and individuals than it is to have proliferation, even among the bad, but global proliferation among everybody in every walk of life on Earth. And that comes to number three, nuclear invisibility arms race. And in this, there's a global lethal and passive weaponization. And it's a global lethal passive weaponization. Nuclear proliferation is on the rise. We know that for sure, no doubt. But invisibility is still in its infancy. And for humanity to have any hope of survival, when it comes to it at the end of the day, invisibility will be the only deciding factor on reducing nuclear proliferation and the use of nuclear arms. The more invisible the, a society, the less likely proliferation and thus ultimately nuclear wars can be carried out. You'd have saboteurs in different regions of the world. And as opposed to the typical logic, I believe that global masses are not as stupid as local masses. Global masses tend to have a instinct to survive as a whole rather than a nation um, following a tyrant government or something. So global proliferation is a necessary aims for invisibility to reduce nuclear proliferation and war. So this is just an introduction, and I'll get to these three topics: strategy, number one, strategy, number two, open source proliferation, um, open source proliferation, privatization versus proliferation, and three, the nuclear invisibility arms race. Well, thanks a lot.